Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to try and demystify the world of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now, I know it sounds super complex, right? But what if I told you it could be as simple as figuring out what you want for dinner? We're about to break down how you can build some truly incredible things with AI just by looking at two different paths: ordering takeout versus, well, cooking a meal from scratch. So here's the plan. First, we'll lay out the two main ways you can approach AI. Then, we'll dive into what I call the easy way, which is all about using powerful, pre-built AI tools. Think of it like ordering takeout. After that, we're going to step into the kitchen and explore the custom way, what it takes to make your own AI. Then, we'll talk about how you manage that kitchen, and finally, we'll figure out which path is the right one for you. So let's start with something that feels a little like magic. You're in a museum, you snap a quick photo of a painting, and bam, your phone tells you it's Van Gogh's The Starry Night. How in the world does it do that? Well, it's not magic, it's AI. And understanding how that AI was built is the key to seeing the two major paths anyone can take to build with this tech. To make this whole thing really simple, let's just stick with our food analogy for a bit. When you want a meal, you've basically got two choices, right? You can order from a restaurant, or you can go buy your own ingredients and cook something yourself. Now, both get you fed, but the process, the effort, and what you end up with are totally different. And guess what? It's the exact same story with AI. Okay, so this slide really breaks it down for us. On one side, you've got using AI. That's our takeout option. It is fast, it's easy. You just pick what you want from a menu of powerful, ready-to-go solutions. On the other side, you have making AI. And this is where you become the chef. This way takes more skill, more time, but what you get is a completely unique dish made exactly to your specifications. All right, so let's dig into that first path, the easy way. This is all about ordering from the AI menu. This is the path you take when you need a powerful, pretty common feature, like recognizing that painting, and you need it working like yesterday without having to become a machine learning expert yourself. So the magic word for this whole takeout approach is API. That stands for Application Programming Interface. And honestly, the best way to think about it is right there on the slide. An API is the menu and the waiter all in one. It's how your app can just order something really complex, like image recognition, from a company without you needing to know a single thing about their secret recipe. You just ask and you get a result. Simple as that. So what's actually on this menu? Well, all the good stuff. You can order an AI that can literally see the world with something called a Vision API. That's our painting recognizer. You can get one that hears and writes down conversations with speech to text. Or you can get one that understands and translates dozens of languages. These aren't just simple tools. They are world-class, ready-to-go solutions. And here's the most important part, the real takeaway. You do not need to be a data scientist to use these things. Any developer can just call the API, send it a photo or a chunk of text, and get a sophisticated answer back. It makes this incredibly powerful technology available to pretty much anyone who can write a little bit of code. Okay, but what happens when what you want isn't on the menu? What if you have an idea for a dish that no one's ever made before? Well, for that, we've got to leave the dining room, head into the kitchen, and become the pro chef. Imagine you're running an online store. You don't want to just recommend the same popular stuff to everybody. You want a really smart engine that gets each customer's unique style and suggests that one perfect, maybe even obscure item they're going to absolutely love. That is a custom dish. You can't order that from the takeout menu. You have to create it yourself. This is exactly where a platform like Vertex AI comes into the picture. The best way to think of it is as a 5-star, fully managed professional kitchen. It's a cloud service that gives you all the heavy-duty equipment, the super powerful computers, the data storage, all of it, so you can just focus on creating your unique recipe, which is your machine learning model, instead of worrying about building the kitchen. So what's in this custom recipe? Well, first, you need ingredients. For our recommendation engine, that means tons of historical data. What have people clicked on? What have they bought? Second, you write the recipe, which means you code your actual model. Third, you use the big, powerful kitchen, Vertex AI, to cook, or as we say, train your model on all that data. And finally, you serve the dish. You deploy your model so it can start making real predictions for your customers. But, a great chef's job doesn't end when the first plate is served. You have to run the whole kitchen every single day. You've got to make sure every dish that leaves that kitchen is perfect. And it's the exact same for custom AI. Just picture this. Your signature dish is a smash hit for months. Everyone loves it. But then, tastes change, new trends pop up, and all of a sudden, your dish just isn't landing the same way. This happens all the time in the AI world. The real world changes, and the new data starts to look really different from the old data you trained your model on. This thing actually has a name. It's called model drift, and it's a huge concept in this space. It's a fancy way of saying your model's recipe is getting stale. It was trained on yesterday's data, and so its predictions about what's going to happen today, they're getting less and less accurate. So how does a busy chef keep on top of this? I mean, you don't want to find out your dish is failing from bad customer reviews. This is where tools like Vertex AI Model Monitoring come in. It acts like your sous chef, constantly checking the quality of the data going in and the predictions coming out. It'll automatically send you an alert when it spots drift, basically saying, hey chef, it might be time to tweak this recipe. Okay, now let's think about another big challenge. Let's say your AI is making really important decisions, maybe for a bank's loan approval model. A customer gets rejected, and for legal and compliance reasons, you absolutely have to explain why that decision was made. You can't just throw your hands up and say, the computer said no. And that is where something called Vertex Explainable AI is a total game changer. It's this incredible tool that's like getting a detailed ingredient by ingredient breakdown of your recipe's result. So for that rejected loan, it can tell you exactly which factors like income level or credit history had the biggest impact on that no decision. It gives you that transparency you absolutely need. All right, so we've browsed the takeout menu and we've spent some time working in the professional kitchen. Now it's time to bring it all home and help you figure out which of these paths makes the most sense for you and your project. It really just boils down to this. Are you a diner or are you a chef? The diner uses those pre-built APIs. It's fast, it's super reliable, and it's perfect for common, standard tasks. The only catch? You're limited to what's on the menu. The chef, on the other hand, builds custom models. This gives you absolute creative control for unique solutions. But it's going to require more expertise, more time, and most importantly, a lot of good data to use as ingredients. And that's really the question I want to leave you with. By understanding these two very different paths, you're not just looking at a scary, complex field of technology anymore. You're looking at a set of choices. So when you're thinking about that next amazing thing you want to build, just ask yourself, for this problem, right now, am I a diner or am I a chef? The answer will point you to the perfect tool for the job.